My mail. Hell no, nigga, about my nails. I keep a manicure, though you panic, you're still gone. Woo! Y'all wanted me to do this tonight, so here we are tonight. What's up? Laker gang, and is the Ronnie 9 in here? From Athens, Georgia. Y'all want to know about Spidey? There you go, Spidey Man. Got the shirt on and everything. Ready to roll. Well, this is the spoiler review. I did the regular review already. This is the spoiler one. Because y'all wanted me to spoil it. I'm like, y'all want me to at least wait? Y'all like, no, we want it now. I'm like, all right. Got to give the people in the house. Give the people what they want. So, y'all want Spider-Man, y'all got him. I got bit by a spider before, but I didn't get a chance to shoot no web or crawl on the walls. I jumped on the wall when I first saw him, and he had already bit me. All right, here we go. Spider-Man. Now, how many of y'all have seen the movie tonight? Who went out and saw it tonight? Okay, granted. Now, this one is kind of confusing a little bit because they're going, they kind of start from the Avengers series. When it first come on, they start with, they're like the Avenger plot. When the whole thing went down with part one, they had the demolition crew and everything like that. You watching the movie right now and you on live stream. What is you doing? Go watch the movie. So, anyway, this film, the way they did it, they took the Amazing Spider-Man comics and some of the Ultimate Spidey and mixed them in together. They took a story that was based out of Spider-Man, the original, when Peter goes to his high school homecoming thing he had. They took that story and mixed it in with a couple of other stories to create this. Now, this film, like I said, starts off with the villain, which is Michael Keaton. We all know he's the Vulture, right? But before that, he's a construction worker. What's up, Jamaica? Oh, thank you. But the thing of it is, he's a construction worker and he's cleaning up all the mess from the Avengers 1 with the Centauri, when they came there and they had everything that crashed on their ship, their technology and all the stuff they had on there, the bombs. They were there collecting all that stuff. And this thing, he hired all the trucks, the crew, everything. This was going to bankrupt him if he didn't, come up with a way to get the money in. The demolition crew showed up and stopped him. A whole department that's dedicated to the disposal of all this equipment, which is headed by Tony Starks. Now, no, I'm not picking boogers. My nose is itching. Well, this is why this is a spoiler review. You shouldn't be watching this one. You should be going to watch the other one. Once again, this is the spoiler review. So if you don't want to get spoiled, don't watch it. Because this is the spoiler review. Now, Damage Control is actually a comic. They actually had their own comic. That's an Easter egg. Now, that's an Easter egg for you. Is the fact that when the Damage Control show up in the Amazing Spider-Man, that group had their own comic book. And what they did was they cleaned up and, all the mess that all the superheroes make. And then they would store it in these facilities. They put all these dangerous weapons out of people's, reach. So they wouldn't have people going around using them on people. And that's exactly what happens here. They come in and take all this tech. And Tony Stark in the movie, Tony Stark is in charge of Damage Control. And now he's made Stark like an enemy. But he's not trying to destroy the Avengers and nothing like that. The Vulture is just trying to make money, man, for his family. Things are tight. Money's not good in the house. He like, look, money ain't good here. Things are kind of tight around here. And I got to feed my family somehow. So we're just going to move forward. And with the stuff we got, let's make weapons out of them. They had material that was left over. And they was like, man, you want to sell or scrap it? He was like, man, look, times is changing, man. We better change with it. Let's get this money. So they start building weapons out of these things. And that's the tinker. The guy who keeps building all these weapons to go against Spider-Man. He's the guy that's working with the Vulture now. Now, I don't think they've worked together in the comics before, or they probably met down the road. And then their Shocker is in this one. There's a lot of, cameo of villains in here. Bodine Woodbine's character, to me, I just think they could have done a lot more with him. Even though he ended up being the Shocker. And what it is like he's got an old arm and he could just punch Spider-Man and he could just go flying 50 yards back. And I like the fact in the film about Spider-Man is the fact that he didn't know everything. The suit he got is, all the tech and gadgets and everything. That was cool to add that element to it, but it's just it was more like a Tony Stark suit, and they was just trying to make a little mini Iron Man. Oh, of course, he's always been that nerdy kid. And we kind of missed that in the other Spider-Mans. Those guys were too old to play Spider-Man. No, not the Iron Spidey suit. Though there is an Iron Spidey suit made, and you do get to see it in the movie. He does not put it on. He does not put on the Iron Spidey-Man suit. You might see it. As I said, you're going to see it in the Infinity War, but you won't see it in this one. You'll see the design of the suit. The suit's nice. The Iron Spidey suit is nice, but he don't put it on. But his suit has 500 different web things it can shoot. It can shoot web grenades. It's got an animated voice that talks like Jarvis, which is actually Paul Bettany's wife, Jennifer Connelly, who voices Vision in Jarvis. Now his wife, he bought her in, and she's the voice for Spider-Man's suit. So it was pretty interesting. We're not going to hit all the Easter eggs here, but there was a reference to Miles Morales. And a lot of people saying Miles Morales is in the film. He is not. Miles Morales was referenced because one of the characters in the film, which is Donald Glover, who was only in it for a little bit, but he had a great, exactly, Aaron Davis. When he just says, I have a nephew or a cousin that lives around here, everybody knew he was talking about Miles Morales, who is going to have a spinoff animated cartoon film. So hold your head for that. Y'all are hilarious. So what Spider-Man's trying to do is to prove that he could be in the Avengers. He could be a top member of the Avengers crew, and he's worthy. So when he first got the suit, he's in the neighborhood working things out. Tony's like, look, I'm going to be busy here. I'm not going to have time to deal with you, so you're going to have to report to Happy. Happy's the guy you can work with. Report to him. I'm going to be gone. So Tony's out doing stuff, and he's trying to keep an eye on him at the same time because he's getting himself almost killed trying to go after this guy with the tech, going after the Vulture, who's a grown man, and he has no idea what's going on. Now, this film here is funny because it's so interracially diverse. It's like overkill. I have not seen a movie this diverse in any Marvel movie history. A completely diverse film. From the whole cast all the way in the classroom. You got the Korean guy. You got the North Island guy. You got the Irish guy. You have the Italian. You have the black guy. And Peter Parker's in love with this black girl. He's in love with her. That's his main crush. So he's in love with her through the whole thing. Oh, yeah, you're right. Scorpion is set up for the mid-credit scene. We all saw that. Because once they say the name, you know that. You knew what time it was. So that wasn't a real big thing. But Max Gargan, the tattoo on the neck kind of gives it away, But it is what it is. My thing is buzzing today. Everybody's just hitting me up. So please forgive me if you keep hearing that buzzing sound. Well, they screwed it up by having all the villains in there and not really having direction to set them up. They made the Rhino just there. He was just there.
When someone yells from the kitchen, go get the good batteries. These are the ones they're talking.
Yeah, so I'm just like, what are they doing? It wouldn't even make no sense when they had the Rhino in the other film. He's not in this one. So let me go through this first. Then we'll go over, some of the other details. But Spider-Man's in love with this girl. Then his best friend that's in the room ends up finding out about his identity. And then they go from there. And then it becomes like a Disney show. And then it's more like a Ferris Bueller Day Off type theme. They have him trying to chase down the criminals, and he's doing all this damage. Then they actually show the Ferris Bueller Day Off scene, which would explain why Ferris was in the commercial. And they're making it fun-loving for kids, which it is. It's gonna make a lot of money this weekend. Ton of money. Spider-Man is gonna rake in about at least almost $1 billion. If not, it's going to really crack it. Because this film is watchable. You can rewatch it again. It's a good movie. It's not outstanding. And the problem is the girl, she was like Peter and everything else, but she also liked Spider-Man. Where did we see this at? Lois Lane, Superman, right? Lois liked Superman and didn't like Clark Kent, so Clark is trying to prove his love to, and he was like, man, maybe you should go in the party as Spider-Man, and say, what's up to my guy Peter Parker? Where's my guy Peter Parker? Which was lame. And he didn't want to do that. But his friend is like, man, maybe you should do that. And tell him, like, look, I'm Spider-Man and this and that. And man, because you heard it, she's into Spider-Man. So he was going to do it, then something happened, and next thing you know, he's going to take her on prom, okay? Let's get to that point. He's going to take her to prom, and he goes to the house to pick her up, and who's her dad? The Vulture! Michael Keaton is her father. Interracial couple. The black girl is his daughter, and he's married to a black woman. And I was like, this movie is so over the top. And it shocked everybody in the movie. It shocked everybody in the movie theater. And now Peter knows that this guy at this point is the Vulture. At this point in the movie, he knows this Michael Keaton is the Vulture. So he's all nervous. And he's like, man, like, what's going on with you? Michael Keaton don't know he's Spider-Man yet. Till he gets in the car and his daughter starts going, yeah, he was at Washington. He kept disappearing. You disappeared at the house the other night. Where'd you go? And they're in the car going to prom, and Michael Keaton's driving them, dropping them off at prom. So he's like, what did he say? He said something like, oh yeah, and he's got a internship with Tony Stark. He's like, he got an internship with Tony Stark. He's like, yeah, Dad. He's like, what do you do for Tony Stark? He's like, oh, it's, little nothing. His daughter just kept running off at the mouth. Like, yeah, he's friends with Spider-Man and everything. You know Spider-Man? Like, yeah, so, man, he was like, he put it all together. And he dropped him off. He was like, hang back for a minute. I want to talk to my guy, Peter, here. He told him, like, yep. So, you know who I am. I know who you are. Does my daughter know? Okay, she don't know. That's good. Don't tell her nothing. Now, you got a choice. You go in there and you stay out of my business. And that's all he wanted him to do is stay out of his business. He was doing all his stuff underground. Nobody knew what he was doing. He was moving all this stuff and stealing equipment, flying in with his Hulk uniform. Everything was set up. But he kept screwing up. And then the boat incident where he intervened because he want to do it himself. He want to prove that he's ready. He had his buddy hack the Spider-Man suit so he can get to the advanced settings just so he can get out there in the world and took the training wheels off the suit, took the tracking device off the suit, everything, so he can go and be free. He was like, now, when I do this, I could join the Avengers. Well, yeah, they had to make it where Tony Stark's in there to be the supportive role. If you had Tony Stark's doing too much in the film, it becomes an Iron Man movie. Because his character is so overbearing, he steals the show. So all the scenes you see him, you only see the suit twice. You only see him in the suit once. And he wasn't really in the suit. He stepped out of it. The suit opens up and he just steps out fully. He doesn't have anything on. He never had any action scenes where he's got the suit on. That scene where Iron Man's flying and Spider-Man swinging, like, that scene is not in the movie at all. Plus the robbery incident where they go in the bank and Spider-Man's in there. The whole dialogue from that whole scene is changed. They changed the dialogue to everything. Oh, Keaton was great as the villain. He was like one of the bright spots. I think it's just they took what I liked out of the film. Keaton, they act like they can't make a villain for Spider-Man. Spider-Man has to know these villains. And in the end, he had Spider-Man where he could have killed him, but he just dropped him. Like, I don't even want to kill Spider-Man because that's not my goal. You know, I'm just here to get my stuff and get out of here. And no matter how much Spider-Man intervened, he don't want to kill him. So it was a good switch to bring him in. And then the girl, Michelle, that's played by this Xanda or Zanaya, whatever. She must be a Disney character that a lot of people know. I don't know this young girl. But in the end, she says, my friends call me MJ. Which means, like, I guess she's going to be Mary Jane in the MJ series. So she turns out to be MJ. They still might do the Sinister Six because they're setting up all these villains in the film. And Marvel knows how to do it better. So they're like, let Marvel handle putting all these villains together in a movie. So it won't be cheesy when we do come out with a Super Six. Now, here's the thing. Spider-Man's going to be in the new Infinity War, but they're going to have another Spider-Man after this, where it's going to be the Scorpion. Because they don't want to do another Osborn thing. That's been done already. So they want to go ahead and do the villains that we haven't seen. Spider-Man has so many villains. So the Sinister Six will get tied into part 2. And in part 2, you might see another appearance by Iron Man. I wish they put Miles Morales, and you might still see Miles Morales show up in the next Spider-Man that they have. But to have Miles Morales in there as the Prowler, for those who don't know who Miles Morales is and why everybody's excited about him. Miles Morales is a kid that stayed across the way, and Osborn was making like all these different, trying to reenact and make the Spider-Man again. He was trying to make another Spider-Man. The same thing that you saw happening in the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Where he was trying to find the Spider-Man serum and all that stuff, but not to try it on himself. He was trying to reenact what happened with Peter, with the spiders. Once he found out what happened, and one of the spiders he made end up biting Miles Morales. And Miles Morales ended up, it was a whole different type of spider. So he ended up when he became the Prowler. And he had a stinger, he could turn invisible, and he could do a lot of different things with his ability. He could spit venom, like a sting you or something like that. So Miles Morales ended up becoming the Prowler, and he was fighting Spider-Man, and I think now they ended up becoming friends or something. And then, I don't understand, but they made what's her name? Marissa Tomei, the Aunt May. At the end, she finds out he's Peter Parker. He's Spider-Man. She sees him in the suit. And she goes, "What the?" And then it cuts off. And I'm like, well, that was dumb, because I don't remember Aunt May ever knowing that Peter Parker was Spider-Man. And I know it's picky, but they show him like kind of using his phone, recording things leading up to the events of them going on the plane and flying out so that he can go on this mission to go fight Captain America and everything. When he showed up to fight him in Civil War, they showed the backgrounds of that scene when all of them was over there. He's like, look, I'm finna go fight the Captain America and everybody. I'll be right back. Hold on. He sets the phone down. And he goes fly, takes Captain America's shield and everything else. And they show the fight. Then he comes back. Look. And grabs the phone. Like, look. This guy's a giant. And then you got Ant-Man who becomes Giant Man. And he's all big. He's like, I gotta go again. I'm finna go fight. Then they show him after on the same phone. They showed him again, and he's got the phone in his hand, and he's sitting there like, oh, no bruises or nothing. I'm like, where the bruises at? He just got out of the fight. He was all bruised up when he was talking to Aunt May. When he got home, he had the black eye. Now he's making the video. There's no black eye, and this is like right after the battle. So I'm like, they slipped up there, but maybe that's just me being picky. But I'm like, other people picked that up. Yeah, you're right. We wouldn't have got the Batman reboot. 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 Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Kill the heroes. Yeah, that was a really bad movie. They brought in Batgirl, and they were supposed to start a whole nother series with Batgirl and everything else. It was just so bad that they just destroyed everything. They was like, you know what? I don't know what we were thinking, but this is over. Let's destroy all of this. All of it. And that's exactly what they did. They just destroyed it all. No, I did not like I mean, she played a decent role. The script was real weak for Catwoman. I think they was just more caught into the actual visual of having Halle Berry play Catwoman. It just wasn't interesting at all. You didn't care about the villain being Sharon Stone. There was really nothing to it. It was more like cosmetic stuff. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, you made this for women, but you made it so boring little kids ain't gonna come see it. So who's gonna check this film out? Nobody was interested. Now, the way they set it up is that the Vulture will be working again with the Scorpion, looks like. But he didn't tell the Scorpion the identity because he said, do you know who he is? And he's like, if I did, he'd already be dead. And he walked off. Man. Everybody's talking about... Oh, yeah. There's an end credit at the end of it that's pretty funny. with Captain America. All those little spots they had with Captain America was funny. They had him doing like these like announcements, like community announcements, because he's Captain America. So it made it really funny. Like, kids, stay out of school, stay in school, and all this other stuff. He was funny throughout the entire film. And then right at the end, he's like, patience. To make you wait all this time. Sometimes patience kick in. Then he was like, well, how many of these I gotta do? My only problem with the film is I felt that they made it like magooed down too much. They made it so much of a kiddie type flick that it's good, but for me, I don't feel the tension. You know, if you watch the first one, you really felt like Spider-Man was in danger. You never kind of felt that in this. You never saw All Eyes on Me. Was it a flop? Not really. It made its money back in 1 week. In the second week, it had a tremendous drop-off, more than what they thought. So it didn't flop. But they thought they'd at least do close to 100 to hopefully 70 million. So they'll make some money off of it. It's just not a lot. Because everybody saw the film and then the backlash came like, this is garbage. So, you know, here in America, when you start talking like that, people are like robots here. More than they are anywhere around the world. When they see something on social media, they be, oh no, don't go see it. Rotten Tomatoes said it's a 33. Well, we'll find out. We'll see. It's going to be difficult. But Rudy Gay, can he stay healthy? That's been his main problem his whole career. Rudy's always had problems staying healthy. You say Venom will be rated R? Oh, we'll see that. Well, here's the thing. Will Spider-Man beat Wonder Woman? I think it will. Trust me, Spider-Man's going to do it because they've tapped into a resource that only I've seen Fast and Furious do. But they did it with children. Is make this film so diverse. Spider-Man's out there, a sister. That's his love interest. He wants this black girl bad. He wants some of that chocolate. So he been chasing her through the whole film like, I got to get this chocolate. Then his best friend is like a Samoan. Then the principal's a Korean. And the school teacher, who was hilarious also, is Guilfoyle from Silicon Valley. He was in there as the school teacher. He was funny. And oh yeah, Spider-Man wanted some chocolate. He wanted that chocolate bad. He wasn't going for nothing else. Like, I want chocolate now. Chocolate for breakfast, chocolate for dinner. I need chocolate. Chocolate. Yep, so he was chasing that chocolate. Yes, the Iron Spidey suit is there. At the very end, after he stops the Vulture and left a note for Happy and saved the day, they bring him in. And Tony Stark's tell him, "You are now an Avenger. You want to join? I will walk you in there. I got the press. I got 50 people from the press in there set up. And here's your new suit." Boom! That Iron Spidey suit is dope. He see that suit, he like, wow. He see that Iron Spidey suit sitting up there, ready to go. And he says, "Nah, I think I'm just gonna, stay with the little local things and be the local neighborhood Spidey. I still got a ways to go." And he's like, "Thanks." And when he went home, Tony gave him the suit back, the original Spider-Man suit, which everybody likes. It got a lot of bells and whistles on it. Because he saved the day. He stopped the Vulture and was able to capture him and hold him there till the police came. And he finally did this and stopped something that Tony was not seeing happening, him or Happy. And he kept trying to tell them that this guy was dangerous and this and that. And Tony was like, I had it under control. Like, this guy is low level. And he's trying to tell him, like, no, he's not low level. So, he did a good thing. Then when they did the live stream, they also brought up the fact that the Washington Monument was, Mary Jane or MJ. She was like, "I'm not going to..." No, he didn't unmask Spider-Man. He knew who Spider-Man was because Spider-Man was dating his daughter, the black girl. Yes, Michael Keaton, that's his daughter. She's mixed. And he was dating a black woman. Yeah, I told you, this is the most diverse movie you've ever seen. It shocked the whole audience when that happened. When they opened that door up and Michael Keaton was the father. And at that point, Spider-Man knew he was the Vulture. But he didn't know that he was Spider-Man until they got in the car and the daughter started running off at the mouth. "Yeah, he's friends with Tony Stark's. And he's always disappearing. And he's got an internship with Tony Stark. And he's friends with Spider-Man." He's like, oh, he was driving them to the prom, to the homecoming dance. And that's when he found out everything. She just kept running off at the mouth. I was in the movie like, man, tell her to shut up. Spider-Man should have slapped her right in the car. "Oh, I'm sorry. Did I hurt you?" "Yeah, you talking too much." Then he knew right then and there he was Spider-Man. He knew right then and there he was Spider-Man. So when she got out the car, he grabbed that pistol like, "Look, man, you saved my daughter's life. And, I appreciate that. But I'm going to tell you, you get in my business again, I'm going to kick you." Now, you can go out here, go into that dance, have a good time with my daughter, and just stay out of my business. That's all he had to do, and it was no problem. But he knew he wasn't going to do that. He tried to be the hero anyway. Spider-Man mask was off because it just happened to be off. He was beating the crap out of Spider-Man. He already knew who he was at that point, so it made no difference if he had the mask on or not. He knew who he was. Zendaya, yeah, whatever her name is. I was just like, this is the girl they picked. But I guess she got a fan following or whatever. This is why this movie's gonna take off. They have anybody when you look at the classroom, there's like a Chinese kid, a white kid. This whole thing is diverse. It's like this guy's from like South Africa. He's in there. I'm like, my goodness, this is the most diverse classroom I've ever seen in a motion picture. This is the most diverse I've ever seen. They gonna make money off this, buddy, like you have never believed. Spider-Man normally does around 700 million or higher. This is gonna crack $1 billion. Oh, they kept it realistic. Like when MJ said, I don't want to go into the Washington Monument because I don't want to go to visit anything that was built by slaves. And he was like, man, this wasn't built by slaves. She's like, no, wait a minute. The teacher's like, I'm quite sure the Washington Monument wasn't built by slaves. And he looked at the black security guard who's standing outside the Washington Monument. He's like, he gave him the, no, it kind of was, bro. So the teacher just shut up and walked off. Like, oh, okay. But that's something that they would put that in the movie. So I was like, man, this is really diverse. Because the Washington Monument was built by slaves. They had the slaves build the Washington Monument. So people got a good educational lesson right there. He turned to the brother. Brother was like, oh, wait a minute now. No, she ain't wrong. And walked off. There's probably some Easter eggs I missed. I know there's a lot of them I've probably seen and just haven't paid too much attention to. There's actually a point where Peter Parker grows up. And that's from a comic book, though, where he actually wheels himself. And that was in The Amazing Spider-Man, when he had the steel on his back and he had to wheel himself to push the steel out of the ground. Like everything in his body to free himself. And he had that in this one. The whole building, everything fell on top of him. The Vulture had it all go down. And Spider-Man's trapped and he's panicking. Oh my God, I can't get out. Somebody help me, help me. He almost about to cry. And he stops. He stops himself. And he looks in the water and it's like he see half his mask and it's like half his mask is here and then you see the half and half picture. And then he wills himself. He goes, come on, Peter. Then he goes, come on, Spidey. Let's do it, Spidey. And he starts pushing the big boulder thing off his back. So this is when... No, not really. See, they're going to do the tales of MJ. When you find out MJ wasn't always... She wasn't the popular girl in school. She was always the one that got, like, bullied. And, like, forgotten about. She wasn't always the pretty girl in school. When they going off the MJ series. That's what it was called. When she's like, my friends call me MJ. Yeah, they did that on purpose. They didn't want her to stand out. Just like with the Shocker, they had the other guy. He was like, your name is the Shocker. Soon as he got killed, next thing you know, okay, you're the Shocker now. Yeah, that would have been cool. But don't worry. Spider-Man joins the new Avengers. So you'll see Spider-Man in the new Avenger film. That's gonna happen after Iron Man is Iron Man's gonna probably die. Or he's gonna go into retirement in the Infinity War. Because after the Infinity War, he's done as Tony Stark. He doesn't want to put on the suit no more. He barely put on the suit for this. And one thing that was shocking to see is when he walked away, when he said, I don't want to, I'm not ready for this. He stopped. He said, this was a test, wasn't it? He was like, yep, and you passed. He was all right. Thank you. And he walked away. Then the door opens and Tony really did have the press there. It was 50 people there. It was like 50 people there ready. And here comes Pepper. Pepper Potts was back. Pepper was there. And she's like, and where did he go? Everybody's like waiting. Are you telling me you guys messed this up? He was like, no, the kid actually made a more mature decision. Did I tell you he's special? This kid made a more mature decision. But she's like, we got the press sitting out here. They waiting to hear something. Oh, we got to buy some time. Do you got the ring on you happy? He's like, yeah. Oh, I've always been keeping this since 2008. The wedding ring, the engagement ring he gave to Tony. She's like, no, you're not finna and propose to me out there. He's like, it'll buy some time. She's like, no, I got a better idea. So she kisses Tony and then he goes out. So Tony is back with Pepper. So that was a good thing to see. Yes, Joan Lee died today. I believe she passed away today at like 93 years old, Stan Lee's wife. So rest in peace to her. I don't think they'll let Captain America die. Oh yeah, I mean the beginning part, the first hour is great. The first hour of the movie is great. I think towards the end they had a hard time landing the plane because landing the plane, get it? Well, if you saw the movie, you get it, but yeah, landing the plane. So the fight scenes with him and Spider-Man was not that great. Is what I'm saying. Like I said, it didn't have the tension. When you think of the first Spider-Man, that epic fight scene in that abandoned church, when him and they're fighting in there and he's whooping Spider-Man, you really thought like, man, Spider-Man, he getting it bad. You spun your last web, Spider-Man. I mean, he was really giving it to him. That was intense. That was actually the best I've seen Spider-Man in a fight. You actually felt the tension. You were like, man, this thing going left fast. It was dark and it was gritty. Sam Raimi got that right. Here, this was like so Disney. You never felt like Spider-Man was in any trouble whatsoever, or it was really hard for him. You even the boat scene, it was like the action scenes was there, they were there, and it was like, okay, it's a flash here. And some of the scenes was so dark and fast, you didn't even see what happened. I swear to God, you're like, what? Did he swipe him with the wing? What happened? It was a lot of scenes like that in the movie. But what was cool that I liked was the different variations of the suit. Spider-Man suit, this guy, like I told you, it's like a mini Iron Man suit. He could switch. He got 500 different ways to shoot the web. He could shoot 2 webs at one time. He could make a web net, then the web grenade. I was like, man, they had all these different variations. Then she kept trying to get him to go to kill mode. When Spider-Man go to kill mode, his eyes turn to like infrareds. And he was like, no, take it off kill mode. No, we're not killing nobody. He's like, kill mode. His eyes turn to little dot, like red infrared dots. And he go into kill mode. And she keep trying to turn him to kill mode. He's like, no, take me out of kill mode. I don't want to be in kill mode. Then his suit can record everything he see. Everything he see, the suit can record. Yeah, we talked about that, Mr. Dance Party. So we're going to let this go for about another 8 minutes, and then we'll move on from it. But moving forward, what do you want to see out of Spider-Man? Sam Raimi come back. I don't want people to think this movie is bad. It just didn't live up to the expectations that I had for it. It's going to make a lot of money. So in the end, that's what I think they're going to do. Mysterio, I would love to see Mysterio. That would be amazing. They get that Sinister Six going, which I think we're going to see. Because they did say Spider-Man will return. Oh, Miles' movie is coming. They doing an animated series with Miles Morales. But he might end up being in the next film. That was funny. When they had the gun sale and they got Donald Glover character there, Aaron Davis. He trying to sell Aaron the weapons. That was the funniest line. I almost peed on myself. He trying to sell him one of these big tech guns. Boom! All these explosions going off. He's like, yeah, look at that. He was like, man, I just need like a pistol or something to get the dudes off me. I ain't trying to blast nobody back in time. Man, I almost peed on myself when he said. Donald Glover laid that line to perfection. He was like, look, man. I'm just looking to get some weapons to just, get people up off me. I ain't trying to blast nobody back in time. That line that was the best line in the entire film. That line was the best line in the entire film. His whole part was the best. Every line he said was great. When Spider-Man turned the suit into intimidation mode, that was funny. He turned intimidation mode. They was like, put it in intimidation mode. He come out there, he got the little spider out there on top. And his voice dropped. Hey, what's going on out here? Dude was like, man, I already heard your voice. I know a little girl voice when I hear one. I'm not a girl. I'm a boy. I'm a man. He had to turn that thing off. He was like, man, you got to get better at this part. He told it right off the bat, look, man, you gotta get better at this part. This intimidation thing. Yeah, you gotta get better at this, man. You knew that you're not used to doing this, are you? Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean he only had like a couple scenes, but the 2 scenes he was in there, he was great. He was like, man, I don't want them weapons in this neighborhood either, man. I got a cousin that live right around here. And you heard some people in the crowd go, oh! But he was like, in the future, man, yeah, you got to get better at this, dude. Yeah, you got to get better at this. Snowfall. Where'd that come from? Who put that in there? Did somebody say that? Like, let's talk about Snowfall. I'm like, Snowfall? Who cares about Snowfall? Everybody talking about that. They can't decide what show it wants to be. That's what they were like, man, people are confused with Snowfall. It's like, is this going to be a dope Dylan movie, or is it going to be an inspirational movie? Is it going to be what kind of movie is this finna be? So when it came out, they were like, is this the crack epidemic, or is this just a hustler movie? What? So I'm like, I watched it, but I was on the phone when it was on, because I was interviewing Bob Arum at the time. So I'll go back and rewatch Snowfall. But in case you guys just got here, let me bring you up to speed. If you was here from the last live chat, you would have got the information I gave to them first. How many of y'all remember this? That's Baby Driver. From the movie Baby Driver. That's the scene in Baby Driver in the movie. That was his ensemble. Do you notice anything familiar about Baby Driver? He was in the pickings to play Han Solo in the new Han Solo movie. Yeah, you was here the other day. And then I showed you. And I'm like, wait. He was supposed to play Han. And if you look at him, you like, wait a minute. He kind of looks like Han Solo. I'm like, yep, he does. But this is the guy they chose to play Han Solo. And there's Donald Glover playing Lando Calrissian. There's Chewie. I don't know who Woody Harrelson's playing, and nobody else. But he's got on the Harrison Ford outfit, basically. And they's like, oh, we didn't do that on purpose. That's just by coincidence that his outfit matches looked like Harrison Ford. I'm like, that's a lie. There's no accidents like that. They wouldn't have let that go down. They wanted to put that in there because he didn't get chosen to play Han Solo. And he should have. He looks a lot more like Han Solo than the other guy. So it might have come down to acting. You know, who knows? Oh, man, you came right at the end, too, Aries. I feel bad, but you can watch it all back because we're getting ready to shut this down. Yeah, but believe me, you'll want to play it back. Any last words? It's, to me, okay and good is the same thing. So it was both okay and good. I don't know. I might do one tomorrow, but it all depends on how I feel. But I'm out, y'all. Y'all have a blessed day. Good night. Thank you, everyone in Jamaica. Thanks for staying up late with me.